In a world where flashy ads and vibrant bottles captivate the youngest minds, how do we discern the fine line between harmless fun and predatory marketing?
Oh, that's good.
Prime Hydration and Prime Energy. Two household names that almost every kid knows. It's taken the internet by storm. Today, Prime is under the microscope. I'll peel back the layers of marketing tactics aimed at kids, and I'll share a personal tale about an online onslaught that left me defending my parenting style. This video isn't an investigation. It's a story of concern, backlash, and the pursuit of truth as I confront the accusations of being a bad parent for letting my child review Prime Hydration. Have I unknowingly put my son's health at risk? Let's find out together.
We have created our own drink company.
The fastest growing sports drink in history.
We want Prime! We want Prime!
Monkey is Prime!
The official sports drink of the UFC. It's Prime!
Look, there are two things that you have to know about me if you really want to get to know me. Number one, I absolutely love marketing. Love everything about it. Well, almost everything, but we'll put a pin in that. Two, the only thing I love more than marketing is my family. My wife and kids are literally the reason behind everything I do, and there's nothing I wouldn't do to protect them and make sure that they have the best possible life. Now, let's get back to marketing. There is one form of marketing that I really hate, that I just can't stand. It's called predatory marketing. And basically what that is it's manipulating vulnerable people through marketing tactics into making unfavorable transactions. In other words, tricking them, manipulating them into doing something or buying something usually that is not necessarily good for them in the long run. That brings us to today's subject. So let's talk a little bit about Prime. Prime Hydration was founded by Logan Paul and KSI. Logan Paul is an internet personality. Unless you've been living under a rock for the last few years, you probably know who he is. He's a blonde-haired goofball, and he and his brother came up in the world because of their wild, kind of like jackass style crazy antics on YouTube. KSI is a wicked rapper who is very well respected in that field. Now, the two came together and they're like, you know what, let's make a hydration drink to compete with Gatorade. Their marketing was very much on point. It was very flashy, it was very cool, it was the party scene type of thing. And at the time, I wouldn't necessarily say it was aimed for children. In fact, it was on the bottle, it says that it's 18 plus. It's recommended for people 18 plus. And on the website, it also says that Prime is meant for 18 plus. However, it's all marketed in a very attention hijacking way. So what I'm getting at here is it targeted toward kids? Well, the bottles all have very fun flavor names. A few of them you can see right here. Also, the colors, primary colors, bright colors, and all of the marketing, well, it looks kind of like this.
We
Have created
our own drink company.
Now, that doesn't answer the question though. They basically hyped it up like it was an energy drink, when at the time it wasn't. Prime Hydration was meant to compete with Gatorade, and in fact, let Logan explain it to you.
This 20-ounce bottle of Gatorade has 34 grams of sugar in it. One bottle of Prime has 2 grams of sugar. That's 17 times the amount of sugar. To help you visualize that, this is a 17x scale model of Prime. You would have to drink this entire giant bottle of Prime to consume the same sugar that's in this bottle of Gatorade. And honestly, I might, because it's the better for you option and it tastes delicious. Drink Prime.
So, is it better for you than Gatorade? In the sugar content side, absolutely. But on the other hand, it's not, because it doesn't have any sodium, so it doesn't really help with hydration as much as he makes it seem like it does. Also, it has some other ingredients that may not necessarily be as good for you, but let's put a pin in that, I'll come back to that. I guess that tackles whether or not it's actually safe. Now, back to the kid thing. Is it marketed towards kids? Well, let me put it this way. Yes, it has all the primary colors and it's flashy and cool looking, right? But also, just this last year, they did a $500,000 gold bottle contest. In other words, they crafted a gold bottle, the actual size, a 16-ounce size bottle of Prime, out of solid gold. it looked a little like this.
This Solid Gold Prime is worth $500,000.
And you have a chance to win it for free.
On November 10th.
The Golden Prime will be encased in bulletproof glass.
To get to it, you must correctly guess a 6-digit code.
Each person only has one guess.
And only 20 seconds to make that guess.
If the code is not guessed correctly within 48
The
hours,
torches inside the case will ignite.
and the Gold Prime bottle will be incinerated.
Completely.
Worth absolutely nothing.
Mark Rober made it. Good luck.
The location of the gold bottle will be in New
London.
York. Let's put one in both.
November 10th, New York, London.
One bottle, one guess, 20 seconds.
We want pride.
Hey, what's up, y'all?
How we doing?
Y'all look great.
Oh, yeah, I love it.
Oh, what's happening? So dramatic.
Now, as you can see, it's very flashy, right? The whole thing is designed to be very much like a game almost, right? So the thing about contests like this is usually you have to be 18 or over to participate. Well, not necessarily, because the winner in the London one was a kid. Check this out.
They got it? They got it?
Oh!
Oh my god!
Oh, it's melting! The gold in New York is melting!
That hurts.
That's 250,000 gone, just like that.
Now I know what you may be thinking. He got lucky. He guessed the right thing. Well, there's actually a lot of videos on YouTube if you want to check it out about how that whole thing was actually rigged and how there was no way that the person who won wasn't controlled, completely controlled, so that it would look awesome. Now you might be thinking, okay, but let's play devil's advocate here. Just because a kid was the winner doesn't mean the crime is targeted toward kids. And I would agree with you, until I saw the most recent flavor of Prime. It's called Cherry Freeze. The bottle itself, when you touch the top of it, actually changes color. It has a thermo temperature thing to where it's blue, much like a Coors can actually, when it's cold, and when you touch it, it turns white. So it's kind of color changing, which is really neat. But that alone would not be enough to make me think this was marketed toward kids, even though it is a cool bottle, and I've tried it. It tastes awesome. This is what got me to realize it was marketed toward kids.
Just ignore the laughter. What do you think?
Oh, you're in your prime! Congratulations!
That's right, they made a Fortnite map with an exclusive join code so that you could go in and see and play Fortnite, one of the biggest kids games out there. Now, is it a kids game in the sense that it's meant for just children? No, not necessarily, but if you get on there at any time, trust me, you're going to be playing against a bunch of kids. So that is kind of predatory. Now, why do I say it's predatory? Because it comes across as it's for kids, and they know kids love this stuff. In fact, before I did a little bit of research on this, my son was in baseball last summer, and I brought a bottle of Prime for him instead of Gatorade because of the whole sugar thing, right? Before I knew about the sodium thing. And you should have seen his team members. All of his teammates ran up to him like, oh my God, you got Prime? Oh, that's so cool, blah, blah, blah. I love Prime, right? So kids 9 years old in that area, they are really big into it. Now, the whole reason that I brought all this up is because my son runs a YouTube channel. It's called Nicholas Cool Club and Friends. He's been at it for quite some time. I'm really proud of him on it. He has 271 videos. He has 234 subscribers. So the kid is really, really into it. He really enjoys it. Sometimes I'm in the videos with him, sometimes I'm not. We did a review, a short review of a Prime flavor, and it blew up. It did fantastically. So we thought, okay, well, let's try it again. And so we did it with almost all the flavors we could find. They were literally just quick shorts where he would take a drink and then rate it on a scale of 1 to 10. Well, I got a comment in there saying that I was a horrible father and that I was trying to kill my kid. Now, that's a personal attack. And as an overprotective daddy bear who prides himself in taking his kids' health seriously, I was not happy. So I jumped on and looked for research, and I tried to figure out, unfortunately, you would think after spending as much time in university as I did that I would know how to do unbiased research. But the first thing I looked for was, what's worse, Gatorade or Prime? Is it an energy drink?
energy. Caffeinated.
Caffeine free, 20 calories,
10 calories.
2 grams of sugar,
Sugar free. Carbonated.
non-carbonated,
And they both have coconut water?
plus electrolytes.
In conclusion, both amazing tasting, better for you products. Drink Prime.
So to answer those questions, no, Prime Hydration, which is what I was giving him, is not an energy drink. However, Prime Energy is an energy drink, and it is very bad for kids. The amount of caffeine in it is absolutely nuts. So obviously, you know, I'm not going to give that to any kid, let alone my own, right? And so I said that. And I also linked to an article from a dietitian who is saying that, yes, Prime was actually better for you than Gatorade. And when you're going for hydration, it may not be a bad idea. And so I linked to that and said, you know, how dare you assume that I'm a horrible father? Well, then in a more recent one, we did the cherry freeze one. And this one person had commented that it's going to make my kid very sick. And that really got to me again, because it's like, no, I already did the research. Well, the problem is I only did part of the research. I compared it to Gatorade, right? What it comes down to is after quite a few people express serious concern about Nick's health, and after seeing these Prime Hydration shorts, I do appreciate them looking out. I appreciate where their heart, I'm hoping, is. But with that in mind, I have to be very clear on this. I know Prime Energy, not good for kids. Have not, will not give it to them. Prime Hydration is not by any means good for kids, but it's not horrible for them either. It's actually, like I said, slightly healthier than Gatorade. But the thing that everybody is missing is they assume that because I let him do these shorts, and because we do these reviews and we, you know, give it a scale of 1 to 10, that I am, one, I think that they assume that it's the energy drink, but two, I think they assume that I give it to him all the time. And the reality is I don't. He likes to try the new flavor, and what people don't see off camera is that once he takes a sip or two for that video, he usually just gives me the entire bottle. He doesn't drink it. In fact, his number one favorite drink is ice water, and he drinks more water than anybody in my house. So we only see snapshots of what's going on. We don't see rolling video of what's going on, so we make assumptions as humans based on what's going on in that snapshot, in that moment. In this case, it's not true. It's not accurate. He doesn't just drink Prime. We have a lot of Prime in the house right now. I'm not gonna lie, we have a lot of Prime, but most of it is for me. Now, as an adult, I have that choice. I can make that choice. After today and doing the research and finding out why people were saying it's not good for kids, I'm gonna be cutting back on my own intake of Prime. And, you know, I'm not a huge fan of supporting Logan Paul anyway, but that's where we're at. So here's the biggest question. Why is it people say that Prime is not good for kids? Well, they're right about this part. It has artificial sweeteners, which are notoriously not great for you, and it has citric acid. So the first two ingredients are water and coconut water. Bully, yay. But I think that's where most of the hydration is supposed to come from, is the coconut water. The artificial sweeteners and the citric acid actually cause quite a bit of inflation, aren't good for the gut. It's not good for gut health at all. And as I mentioned before, it doesn't really have the sodium to be really good hydration. It has lots of vitamins. In fact, it has too much vitamins. The vitamin A content is more than the recommended dosage for kids. So all of those things, you know, plus some of the other ingredients could cause allergic reactions, but let's be honest, just about anything has ingredients that could cause allergic reactions. So you got to kind of take that with a grain of salt. What I'm getting at is, like anything, it's best to consume in moderation, right? Having a little bit once in a while isn't going to have any serious health problems. Now, I'm not a medical professional, I'm a marketing professional, and I have sat back from afar and kind of admired the way that they've marketed until I looked at it with a bit more critical of an eye. Their influencers, they have actual social media influencers. They have lots of different programs where they have, you know, they're advocates and things like that, and it's all geared toward young adults, like teenagers or you know, 20 to 30 somethings. But the athletes they are, you know, tied to are ones that kids probably would like quite a bit, from football players to soccer players. I think there's even a baseball team that they have behind them. So, you know, kids look up to athletes, and they assume that if their favorite athlete is into something, then it must be good for them. It must be okay. What it all comes down to is that parents have a responsibility to make sure that they are doing what's right for their kids in the long run. And Nick and I once had a joke song, which is, We did it all for the content. We did it all for the content. I won't sing it to you, but it was kind of funny. And it was almost mocking because of people doing really stupid stuff for content instead of authentic fun stuff and real good stuff. But when push comes to shove, where the rubber meets the road, whatever analogy you want to use, his mother and I take Nick's health extremely, extremely seriously. Okay, there is nothing that we wouldn't do to keep him healthy, and there's nothing we would give him if we believed it could make him sick. So as much as I appreciate and I thank those who reached out via his YouTube channel and expressed their concerns, and you know, wanted to make sure we're not hurting our kid, I love that. I do think there's a critical way to do it where you say,
hey, just a heads up, just looking out, no hard feelings, but that's not necessarily good for your kid.
That's one way. To flat out call somebody a bad parent is completely the wrong way. And I think if the second guy who reached out and said, hey, just a heads up, this is really not good for your kid, you can Google it, look it up, really dig into it. I think if that would have been the first one, it would have been a different conversation. It wouldn't have been me jumping to the defense. And I am a huge advocate for communication first. I believe communication is the key to solving all of the world's problems. I also think that poor communication or lack of communication is the cause of all of the world's problems. So, you know, as much as I may be very careful when it comes to my children and their overall health, and as much as I may be excellent at articulating my feelings and my theories and my thoughts on various marketing things, I can't lose sight of the fact that it's just as easy for me to get duped because of excellent marketing, right? I may be a marketing master, but I don't approve of nor utilize predatory marketing. And I feel like Prime Hydration, you know, health benefits or detriments aside, the way that they don't market to children is a big turnoff to me. So just food for thought. I appreciate you joining me. I'm somebody who is more than willing to admit when he's wrong and more than willing to take a much more critical eye. And I encourage you to do the same. When it comes to being authentic and being true and just presenting your best self, at the end of the day, you just have to dig deep, my friends.